yourself that you will not text him again, but you did. Or you promised to stay calm, but the woman, she went silent. You froze. And later you think, what is wrong with me? Nothing. Your brain just thought that you were about to lose love. And when that happens, it panics. If you understand this one pattern, you can stop most of your fights before they even start. Because it's not what you're fighting about, it's about what you're fighting for. There is about fear of losing each other. Let me show the map your nervous system is following. And by the way, I'm Ina Zussman, work with cross-cultural couples, and let me show you what is really happening when you promise yourself not to yell, not to text, and you're doing this over and over again. So what I'm talking about? There was this British psychologist, John Bowlby, back in 1950s and 60s, and he was studying babies, how they attach to their mothers. His colleague Mary Ainsworth created this experiment. She called it the strange situation. She put a baby in a room with mom, and then mom leaves. Baby reacts, and then mom comes back. Baby reacts again. And what she found, some babies were fine. Mom left, they cried a little bit, mom came back, everything okay. These kids felt secure. They knew that mom was coming back. But some babies completely panicked when mom left. And even when she came back, they couldn't calm down. They were really, really anxious. They were terrified that she will never ever come back. And there were other babies who didn't care at all. Mom left, whatever. Mom came back, whatever. They learned earlier. Don't need anyone. And they became avoidant. Here's what crazy. This type of reaction when somebody is leaving you physically or emotionally, this type of reaction will never ever go away even when you grow up. This pattern when you learn as a baby. And that's how you will show up in your adult relationship. If you were anxious as a baby, you probably will be anxious now. Whenever your partner is leaving you, not texting you, it means the end of the world for you. If you were avoidant as a baby, meaning that you decided that there is no reason to cry and to ask for something, you have to take care of things by yourself, you probably need a lot of space now. And when you put anxious person with avoidant person, what happened? Obviously, disaster. So let me show to you, let me share the screen. 4 types of attachment. Um, 4 attachment styles. 50% of people are secure. It's interesting that in current world, when everyone keep complaining about their childhood traumas, we always forget that not everyone has some kind of anxious or avoidant attachment style. Still, most of people are good. So what means secure? These people are comfortable both with intimacy and independence. It's kind of gold standard of attachment. They trust their partners. They communicate their needs really clear. They don't afraid to tell what they actually need. They handle conflict without panic. They know that whatever is happening, it's just now, and they can find a way to hear each other. And they're comfortable when their partners are with them and without them. They still feel okay. I really want you to remember that most, like half of people in general, are secure. So next time you will not look for your partner and thinking, are you anxious? Are you avoidant? Maybe your partner is totally okay. So then we have 20% of anxious people. And these people are so loud that we think that most of people are anxious. But that's not right. It's just because these people are very loud. So the biggest fear of anxious people that they will be lonely, that they will be abandoned. So they need constant reassurance and they need a partner who will be very aware of their moods. So they always need assurance that you love me. They panic that partner is distant. They interpret the silence as rejection and they need frequent connection to stay secure. Now, 25 people more than anxious. I avoid it, but we don't know a lot about them. Why? Because they keep themselves silent. They value their independence, they trust themselves, and they know that they can figure out things by themselves. They don't need additional or external support. So, usually, if they will be able to say out loud what they need space. They need their own time to figure things out. So when they stressed, they withdraw. They shut down, they go somewhere to figure things out. And these people will see emotionally active people as weakness. And if they will be into close relationship, they start feeling themselves as in the jail. And also, only 5% of people, we call them fearful avoidant. So they can be anxious or avoidant, they're very, very unsecure. It's like push-pull dynamic. And usually it's coming from really traumatic backgrounds. So, for example, they can say, I really need you now. But when their partner approach, they will immediately say, oh, that's not a good time. So their relationship patterns are so chaotic that it's difficult to figure out what they actually need when they're happy. And at the same time, they crave and they fear intimacy. What is really difficult about this type of people because they're unpredictable. One day they can be very anxious, next day they can be very avoidant, and they suffer a lot about this by themselves. So let me stop sharing and we will continue the story about attachment. What also interesting that anxious and avoidant people usually attracted to each other like magnets. Let me explain how it works. Because at the very beginning, they're really perfect for each other. The anxious person thinks, finally, someone calm, stable, not needy. He doesn't need constant attention. He's so independent, so much relief. And the avoidant person thinks, oh, I found someone emotional, warm, expressive, and this person is not afraid of feelings. So I can actually feel closeness. This is amazing. So each person attracted for what they didn't have growing up. For example, the anxious person grew with chaos, inconsistency, too much emotions. So for them, the avoidant person feels calm, stable, safe. The avoidant person grew up with coldness, distance, emotional shutdown. So the anxious person feels warm, alive, and connected. So at first, they are so good together. But after a while, like after 6 months or a year, the thing that attracted become things that drives you crazy. I usually saying when you dating, you see the face. But when you start to live with each other, you see 3D picture, meaning that you will see the butt. The butt was there, but you didn't see it. So after a while, the anxious person started to ask why he is so distant. Why this distant person is not opening arm to me? Maybe this person doesn't love me. The avoidant person. Oh, she's so needy. Why does she need constant reinsurance? Why she cannot just be by herself and give me my space? So the exact qualities that attracted are now the problem. So the question, why are you doing it? The response and the answer very easy because you triggering each other's core wounds. The anxious person core wound is I will be abandoned. The wounded person core wound I will be trapped and lose myself. So when the anxious person trying to catch the avoidant person will feel trapped, core wound activated. Both doing what feels very natural to them, and they found the person who looks so familiar, and their subconscious mind thinking, now, this time, this person will give me what I actually need. So both of these people accidentally hurt each other all the time. And that is why anxious avoidance is the most common and the most painful combination. And let me tell you something else. How about you will add cultural difference on the top? And it happened. And it will build even more complicated and multi-layer picture. So strange situation experiments were done all over the world. In Germany, Japan, Israel, everywhere. And guess what? Different cultures create different attachment patterns. For example, in Germany, we will have more avoidant kids. And you know there is the answer. Because German culture says be independent, early, sleep in your own room, handle things yourself, don't be weak. So most of people grow to be avoidant. In Japan, we will see more anxious kids, but for very, very different reasons. Japanese moms keeps babies very close. So their anxiety, interestingly enough, it's not about abandonment. It's about the shock of separation they never experienced when they were kids. How about Latin American culture or Middle Eastern? When families are so close, live together, they're always around, they're never alone. So connection is love. Obviously, we have sometimes avoidant people who like just leave me alone, but most of the time, very anxious people. In Asian cultures, the independent is a great value. Don't burden others, handle your own problem. Strength is not needing anyone. So, whom we get? Obviously, avoidant people. So, the patterns are the same, but because of the cultural meaning, the underneath reason could be very different. It's very important to understand and keeping in mind when you are in cross relational interface relationship, you are dealing with two things: your partner personal attachment style from childhood, plus cultural programming about what love should look like. So let me introduce the couple. I will call them Daniel and Maria. Obviously, that's not real name. So Daniel is Asian American, and his parents came from Korea. His dad worked all the time. His mom was very demanding. Good grades only. B is not a grade. No emotions. Why are you crying? What is about? Stop. Be strong. So Daniel learned to keep everything inside. He's very independent and he doesn't need anything. That's love. And obviously, he met Maria, who is Mexican American, big family. Her mom, her grandmother, three siblings, cousins, people always everywhere. People always warm, celebrate something, eat something, always in each other's business. And her mom was warm, incredibly loving. But Maria never had space. Wanted to read alone. Why are you isolating? Back to the family. So Marina learned being alone means something wrong. Love is about constant connection. Classic anxious attachment. Of course they met, and of course they fell in love. And at first it was perfect. He loved that she was warm, expressive, emotional, everything which his family never was able to give him. He loved that he was calm, stable, didn't need constant attention. She was able to read book by herself. But obviously, 6 months later, the pattern started. Maria texted during the day. Hi, thinking about you. How's your day? But Daniel is in the meeting. 2 hours later, Maria's anxiety is rising. Are you okay? Did I say something? Daniel finally see the phone. I was just working. Maria, you seem distant. Daniel, I'm not distant. I was literally on the back-to-back meetings. Maria, I can feel you pulling away. Daniel feels trapped. Wait a second. I need my space. I need to work. Maria, panicking. Space? Why do you need space from me? Are you breaking up with me? And there it is. So Maria's anxiety makes Daniel feel suffocated. So he will withdraw even more. Daniel's withdrawal makes Maria more anxious. So she is trying to catch him more. And they are in classic anxious avoidant trait. So every single day, morning, Maria wakes up, wants to cuddle, talk, connect. Daniel needs coffee first, be quiet, time to wake up. Maria thinks, he doesn't want me. Daniel thinks, why does she need so much from me immediately? During the day, Maria sends loving text. Daniel busy. So Maria's nervous system feels he's gone. He doesn't love me. I'm alone again. Daniel nervous system. She needs too much. I need space. And here what also make it worse, the cultural layer. Because Maria thinks in a healthy relationship, you're always connected, you always have something, you're always cuddling, you're always texting. That's what love looks like. But Daniel thinks that in a healthy relationship, you actually respect each other's space. You have your own room, you have your own time. And in his culture, that's how love looks like: expecting and respecting each other's space. And they express love, but it's not what everyone expected. I promise you to say what could be done and is it possible. I can tell you, absolutely possible. Because remember, the core need of Maria from her childhood, something she never got, is to have her space. That's why she found him. The core need of Daniel is to get a little bit more love, to get some warmth from the partner. That's why he attracted to Maria. But in stress, the following their stress and traumatic response. So it's just about learning what is happening with you, what is happening with your partner, and what is happening in the space between you two. So what Maria learned during therapy, that when Daniel doesn't respond to texts, pause, breathe, and tell yourself, this silence is not about you. He's just busy. In his culture, space doesn't mean rejection. It means respect. So instead of ongoing thoughts, if he is abandoning me, is he pulling away, she can say directly to herself, I'm feeling anxious right now. And she can ask you, can you just tell me we're okay? So her need from him to say, we're okay, that's it. And what Daniel learned when Maria asked for assurance, don't withdraw, stay, even if it feels uncomfortable. In her culture, constant connection is love. So one text during the workday, thinking of you. It takes 5 seconds and we're good. So they created structure. When Daniel comes home, before he disappears to recharge, she would have, they said sometimes 5, sometimes 10 minutes of real connection. And then he will have his alone time. So Maria gets what she needs. She feels seen. And Daniel gets what he needs, space after connection. So my final thoughts for today. I want you to know that attachment styles can change. They are not permanent. It's like, you have this emergency button. So the situation could be very different, but the way how you naturally automatically respond will come from your attachment style. So if you will learn to pause and hear what is happening with you, you can change your response. That's absolutely possible. So it's really important first to understand your own pattern, to see what you're actually doing, to see what your partner is doing, to understand you and your partner cultural difference on the top of it, and then small changes every day. But if you're stuck in this and need help, I work with cross-cultural couples online, and you can schedule a free 50 minutes consultation where we can figure out what is happening with you and what is the best way to move forward. And I wanted to tell you that you had been attracted to your partner not out of nothing. You've been attracted because this person has something which you're longing to have, but you cannot accept it yet. That's the most important outcome of this video. Yes, you do have attachment style, but you can change it and you can make yourself, your partner, and your relationship more happy, more accepted, and more loving. And that's what I wish you to have. See you soon.